Shocking. Why your intuition is actually a prediction error. I trusted my gut and walked away. It felt righteous, like wisdom disguised as urgency. 3 months later, the job I refused went to a friend. He's thriving. My intuition labeled safety as threat, and I paid for it. 0 to 15 seconds. Your gut can feel certain and still be wrong. Trauma, stress, and screens crank its volume until prediction feels like proof. 15 to 60 seconds. The roadmap. Your brain guesses first and checks later. Perception is a controlled hallucination, a Bayesian loop of priors, evidence, and updates, weighted by precision, the confidence dial. Today, we'll show how trauma inflates the wrong priors, how interoception, anterior insula, heartbeat, breath, gut, colors those guesses, and how feeds train certainty without truth. Then we'll run the 4R protocol: recognize, record, reweight, rehearse, to recalibrate intuition so prediction errors can get through. And yes, whenever we reference time, we'll say the 1940s, 1960s, 1970s, or 2000s in full, never shorthand. Part 1. The hallucination of now. Start with the simple, uncomfortable truth. Your brain isn't waiting for reality to arrive. It's predicting what's next and checking if the guess holds. Neuroscientist Anil Seth calls this a controlled hallucination. Not fake, but constructed. The world you experience is your brain's best bet about the causes of your senses. How does that bet get built? With Bayesian mechanics. You start with a prior, what's been true before. You weigh new evidence, likelihood, and you update to a posterior, your current belief, which becomes the next prior. This loop runs continuously. Where does intuition live in that loop? In the shortcut, when your brain leans hard on priors and downweights incoming data because speed, survival, or habit says, trust the pattern. A concrete moment. You walk into a glass office for a job interview. The interviewer's tone is clipped. Eye contact glances off you, your heart skips. Your body whispers, not safe. You call it intuition and pull back. 6 weeks later, you learn they were fighting a migraine. You weren't reading the room, you were reading your priors. Why did it feel so certain? Precision. That's the brain's confidence dial. The system doesn't just hold beliefs, it assigns weight to them. High precision priors shout. Low precision sensory data whispers. The result? The hallucination of now collapses toward what you already expect. If you've learned that clipped tone precedes harm, your model overfits to threat. Your gut locks in. Trauma tightens this loop. Adverse learning tunes priors toward danger and narrows the hypothesis space. Fewer possibilities even get considered. The brain's job is to minimize surprise, so it privileges what kept you alive. Short-term, adaptive. Long-term, your world becomes a tunnel where the same story plays. Rejection in every delay, punishment behind every email, catastrophe rehearsed in every pause. Meanwhile, your body is an informer with veto power. The anterior insula maps interoception, heartbeat, breath, gut churn, and feeds those signals into your world model. The brain doesn't read them as neutral, it interprets them. Elevated arousal becomes danger. Calm becomes safety. The kicker, those internal signals are noisy. Caffeine, sleep debt, last night's drink, all jack the channel. You get a coffee spike, label it bad energy, and call it intuition. Your model just misattributed its own static. Here's the boring, everyday version. The same loop governs how you read a text reply delay, a boss's calendar change, a partner's sigh. The brain prefers consistency, so it rounds everything toward the prior. If abandonment is the prior, silence is proof. If contamination is the prior, ambiguity is hazard. If status loss is the prior, neutral faces are disdain. You don't experience that as a hypothesis, you experience it as the present. Prediction error, the mismatch between guess and reality, is supposed to rescue you. It's the update signal. But when priors carry too much precision, error gets downweighted. You stop learning from the world and start arguing with it. I knew it becomes a feeling, not a fact. One more detail that matters. Precision isn't fixed. The system flexes. States, sleep, substances, hormones shift it. Context, crowd noise, deadlines shifts it. Social inputs, your feeds train it. The algorithmic world you live in is a prior reinforcement machine, inflating certainty without improving truth. Spend a week in a danger filter bubble, and your gut will sink to it. You'll call it realism. It's just trained confidence. Zoom into a human moment. A woman sits in her car outside a second date spot. Jaw tight, chest hot. Her insula flags arousal. Her prior says, "Men who go quiet get cruel." No texts. She leaves. Later he messages, "Sorry, parking nightmare." Her model predicted pain. Her body agreed. Reality disagreed. The update signal arrived and bounced off high precision. Priors. To understand why your now feels so true, see the architecture. Perception isn't a camera. It's a hypothesis generator with a budget. It spends precision on what seems most reliable. Trauma and repetition bid up old alarms. Interoception colors the bid. Feeds inflate whatever you click. And intuition, the thing you swear is pure, often rides that stack. So here's the promise. We won't shame your gut or replace it with forced optimism. We'll recalibrate it. We'll show where precision is misplaced, how to catch state-driven misreads, and how to let prediction errors through again. Because if your model can learn, your intuition can change. And if it can change, it can finally serve you instead of scaring you. And yes, whenever we reference time, we'll say the 1940s, 1960s, 1970s, or 2000s in full. Never shorthand. The Bayesian trap. How prediction errors get silenced. Perception is your brain's best bet. Prediction error is the fix-it alert. But not all errors get airtime. The brain weights them by precision. How trustworthy each signal seems. When priors carry high precision and incoming data is tagged low precision, the error pings, then dies. You feel certain while being wrong. Use a mixing board image. Traumatized priors? Volume maxed. Noisy, ambiguous sensation? Fade it out. Whatever's loudest gets mistaken for reality. In lab terms, precision-weighted prediction error minimization. In life, though I knew it vibe without testing. Everyday loop. You send a proposal. Hours pass. Arousal ticks up. The anterior insula flags it. Your model forecasts rejection. Then a ping. In meetings all day. That's clean disconfirming data. But if prior's precision is cranked, error gets downweighted. No update. You wait for real rejection and call it wisdom. This silencing shows up neurally. Under stress, prefrontal control overmanages like a clipboard boss. Depersonalization often rides here. Limbic input dims, sensory precision drops, top-down models clamp. Numbness isn't absence, it's over-control. You check boxes, miss meaning, and the world loses weight. The flatness itself feels like proof. If I'm this detached, something's wrong. Loop heightened. Confirmation feel masquerades as evidence. You fish for cues that fit. I flickers, delayed punctuation, a clipped K. Tiny matches loom large because the brain treats felt right as high precision. The more the prior resonates with your current state, the truer it feels. Mismatches go unseen. Memory edits to match. They always ignore me. Always expands quietly. Here's the invisible part. Precision is state-dependent. Sleep debt lowers sensory precision. External data gets whisper status. Caffeine elevates arousal and makes internal noise feel informative. Alcohol blunts salience of error. So stale priors keep steering the morning after. Stack them, and you're running yesterday's model with today's chemistry. The world tries to correct you. You can't hear it. Trauma puts a thumb on the scale. It doesn't just set harsh priors. It narrows the hypothesis space. Fewer alternative explanations even get generated. Threat consumes the possibility budget. A slam maps to danger, not wind. A late reply maps to abandonment, not traffic. The model updates less because it forecasts less. Less surprise, fewer chances to learn. Microstory. Nia, 6 months into a new role, gets a terse check-in. Chest heat, jaw lock. Prior. Check-ins precede exits. She scripts a resignation. In the meeting, her manager says, "You're outperforming. Let's map growth." Lab prediction error. But with high-precision threat priors, Nia hears higher bar, braces for scrutiny, and leaves unchanged. A month later, she declines a stretch project as bad timing. She silenced a generous error signal and called it intuition. Enter algorithms. Feeds optimize for engagement, not accuracy. That's precision inflation for what you already click. A week of crime threads and neutral city sounds feel loaded. Safe cues arrive. Your trained gut tags them suspect. It's not just a filter bubble, it's a precision bubble. Clinical echoes clarify the machinery. In some psychotic states, sensory error is overweighted, so updates swing wildly. In trauma, it's often the reverse. Priors overweighted, error underweighted. Same engine, different dials. In depersonalization, prefrontal regions overmanage and tamp limbic signals. The world flattens. Error loses salience. You keep functioning, you stop learning. What breaks the spell? Make error matter again. But you can't argue a high-precision prior into silence mid-spike. Reasoning tightens over control. First, downshift prior precision or upshift sensory precision. Translation: regulate before updating. Slower exhale. Cold on skin. Name 5 concrete details. These aren't vibes. They're ways to raise reality's volume so error can cut through. Stakes are real. Silenced error costs promotions, closeness, and cash. Hypervigilance spends cortisol like it's free. Relational sabotage hides inside righteous certainty. I'm not paranoid, I'm prepared. Meanwhile, your model keeps you safe from opportunities. The rule will build on: never reweight during spikes. Regulate, then update. Once the prior's grip loosens a notch, reality gets a fair shot, and often wins. Next up, how your body-level priors set the first vote, and why state hacks can hijack it. Body-level priors. Interoception and felt certainty. While the mixing board is math, the first vote still comes from the body. The anterior insula listens inward, heartbeat, breath, gut stretch, and turns raw inputs into headlines your cortex trusts. Aroused or at ease. The brain treats that headline as context. High arousal makes threat hypotheses cheap. Ease makes safety plausible. Before anyone speaks, your body-level priors have priced the room. Interoception isn't a thermometer, it's a translator. Signals are noisy. The insula stitches them into felt meanings. Racing heart, danger, warm chest, belonging, tight jaw, push back. These are bets, not facts. And anything that jacks the channel, caffeine, sleep loss, alcohol, tilts the bet. Zoom the hijacks, caffeine, upshifts sympathetic tone, and interoceptive gain. Internal noise, palpitations, warmth, feels informative. The model promotes threat stories. Sleep debt, downshifts sensory precision and executive bandwidth. External cues whisper, priors shout. You stick with yesterday's story. Alcohol, blunts error salience and interoceptive clarity. Morning after, stale priors steer while the error signal shows up late. Micro story, you step into a cafe to meet a client. 2 espressos, 5 hours sleep, doom thread in bed. 10 minutes in, chest hums, palms glassy. The insula flags arousal, the prior whispers, vibes off. You cool the room. Later you learn they were shy and eager. You weren't reading them, you were misreading yourself. Quiet trap, anxiety equals predicted threat. Calm equals predicted safety, regardless of context. Efficient in the wild, risky in the boardroom. Historically, your body kept you alive, so the brain assigns precision to bodily cues. Modern life decouples arousal from danger. Coffee spikes don't mean cruelty. Sleep debt doesn't mean betrayal. Hangover fog doesn't mean malice in we need to talk. Also watch false con. If dissociation kept you safe, flatness feels like truth. Insula channel narrows, prefrontal manager takes over. I feel nothing, so it's fine, while small real errors slide by. So we don't treat com as truth or arousal as lie. Both are inputs, not verdicts. Use the body well by calibrating it. Baselines first, consistent sleep, regular meals, hydration. Interoceptive training. Track your heartbeat without touching your pulse for 60 seconds. Compare to actual count. You're teaching the insula to read signal, not static. CO2 tolerance. Slow nasal inhale, longer nasal exhale. Add brief, comfortable holds after an exhale to decouple air hunger from panic. Same sensations, less danger tagging. Microtest. Label state before vibe. Out loud if possible. 2 coffees, 5 hours sleep. Timestamp the surge. Minute 12, chest tight. If it drifts 10 minutes without new information, it was physiology echoing, not the room speaking. State moves precision sliders. Caffeine inflates confidence in internal cues. Sleep loss lowers sensory precision and shrinks willingness to update. Alcohol blunts error sensitivity, so stale priors dominate the morning. On those days, your intuition is a body-weighted vote, not a balanced count. Another micro. Can we talk later? Lands after a late night. You're dehydrated, underslept. Stomach tightens. Prior. Talks explode. Insula flags unease. You type defenses, then hold. That evening, restaurant wrecks. The signal was physiology wearing an old story. Context anchors raise sensory precision. At entry, name 5 specifics. Blue chair, frosted glass, fern, silver pen, clock at 9. Orientation gives prediction error a lane. If the room is safe, specifics ease tension in a minute or 2. If it's risky, Tension holds, useful data. Pre-commit on high volatility days. Underslept, overcaffeinated, or foggy. Cap gut authority on long-tail decisions. Revisit in 4 hours after food and water. Not self-distrust, precision hygiene. Final microtest. Is this me the feed or fatigue? If it's you, clear pattern, grounded body, proceed. If it's the feed, recent fear content echoing, pause. If it's fatigue, physiology loud, world quiet, defer wait. Tiny triage prevents dozens of misreads. Your gut can be a great witness. Train the channel. Respect the input. And when it's noisy, don't hand it the mic alone. Mirror worlds. Algorithms that train your priors. While your Insula is setting the first vote, your phone is training the electorate. Feeds don't capture attention. They curate your sense of what's likely. In Bayesian terms, they train your priors. And because the system optimizes for engagement, not accuracy, it inflates precision for whatever already hooks you. Certainty goes up. Truth doesn't. Think about how a platform learns you. You pause on a clip about a street incident. The system tags that pause as salience. Thereafter, it shows you more street incidents. You click 2, share 1, swipe away from a counterstory. From the machine's perspective, that's confirmation. From your brain's perspective, it's training. Ambiguous city sounds predict danger. By Friday, your gut flinches at an ordinary shout down the block. The world didn't change. Your precision did. Here's a micro-week in a bubble. Monday, you watch a viral break-in video. Tuesday, you see a thread of hidden crime stats. Wednesday, a pundit stitches a city in decline montage. Thursday, a neighbor posts about a car window smashed 2 states over. Engagement spikes. The feed leans in. By Sunday, your morning walk runs through a cinematic threat reel your brain now expects. Your chest tightens at a jogger behind you. You speed up. No new evidence required. Your internal model is already right. Remember our rule. Anxiety equals predicted threat. Calm equals predicted safety. Feeds tip that balance by selecting the examples that keep arousal high. That's not a conspiracy. It's business logic. But psychologically, it's a precision bubble. The algorithm bids up the weight you give to a narrow slice of inputs. Meanwhile, disconfirming cues, quiet blocks, kind neighbors, peaceful commutes, don't trend, so they don't surface. Your update signals go missing in action. Parallel to that is scale. PsyOps research talks about coordinating triggers at volume. Repetition, personalization, timing. Commercial platforms do a softer version for clicks, not coups, but the effect is similar. The more a theme repeats with your name on it, the more your brain treats it like background radiation. Always there, therefore likely. Priors harden. Alternatives don't get considered. In Bayesian language, your hypothesis space shrinks. In human language, your mind feels made up. Microstory. Adrian keeps seeing quiet quitting takes and layoff wave charts. He starts reading every neutral Slack ping as the first domino. His body level priors, coffee, short sleep, ad hum. His managers got a minute? Pings at 4:12 p.m. His Insula flags threat. His model fills in the script. He walks into the chat armored. The ask is routine. Can you review a doc? He misses a chance to volunteer for a visible project because his precision bubble overruled reality. This isn't just political content. Dating feeds hype betrayal stories. Investment feeds amplify doom or euphoria. Wellness feeds swing between miracle fixes and hidden toxins. Each lane offers a closed loop. Arousal bait leads to clicks. Clicks train priors. Trained priors increase arousal sensitivity, and the loop tightens. After a while, your intuition about people, markets, or food sounds suspiciously like your For You page. Now, the part that hurts. You feel more certain the longer you live inside that loop. Engagement builds familiarity. Familiarity feels like truth. Your brain converts, "I've seen this a lot," into "this is likely." Then assigns higher precision to that story the next time a similar cue appears. In practice, a late text becomes a near certainty of ghosting. A red candle on a chart becomes an omen. A headache becomes a toxin narrative. The feed didn't invent the story. It rehearsed it for you until your gut could perform it on command. So what do? Smash phones. Not realistic. But we can run a Bayesian audit of inputs. Start with a 1-week feed fast if you can. If not, impose a 24-hour pause on fear-themed content. Track what your gut predicts each day. Danger, betrayal, collapse, and log outcomes. If world keeps disproving the feed's forecast, that's your missing prediction error. Don't argue with your beliefs. Record their hit rate. Add forced diversity. Deliberately subscribe to 3 sources that make different claims, but publish correction logs. You're not hunting agreement, you're widening hypothesis space. Then add delay inserts. When a post spikes arousal, wait 30 minutes before reacting. Name the body state, note the content pattern, and ask, is this me the feed or fatigue? If it's the feed, tag it and move on. Precision falls when you don't reward the loop. Last, transplant social proof. Spend time in offline contexts that contradict your bubble. Volunteer, attend a local meeting, talk to a neighbor who doesn't share your media diet. Direct sensory data, faces, voices, streets, upshifts the precision on the world you actually inhabit. It won't erase the loop in a day, but it gives prediction error a fighting chance. Your intuition isn't an oracle, it's a learner. If the curriculum is your feeds, it will ace the body-level priors and fail the life you live and felt certainty. While your models crunch predictions, the first vote lands in your body. The anterior insula listens inward, heartbeat, breath, gut stretch, and turns raw sensation into a headline your brain trusts, aroused or at ease. That headline tilts the odds. High arousal makes threat hypotheses cheap. Ease makes safety plausible. Before anyone speaks, your state has priced the room. Interoception isn't a thermometer, it's a translator. Signals are noisy. The insula stitches them into felt meanings. Racing heart, something's wrong. Warm chest, this is good. Tight jaw, push back. Bets, not facts. And anything that jacks the channel, caffeine, sleep loss, alcohol, tilts the bet before context arrives. State hijacks in short. Caffeine lifts sympathetic tone and interoceptive gain, so internal noise feels like intel. Sleep debt lowers sensory precision and executive bandwidth. Priors keep talking. Alcohol blunts error salience. Morning after, stale priors steer. Microstory. 5 hours sleep, 2 espressos, doom thread in bed. In the meeting, palms glassy, chest hums. The insula flags arousal, the prior whispers off. You dial back warmth. Later they say they were eager and shy. You weren't reading them, you were misreading yourself. Quiet trap. Anxiety equals predicted threat. Calm equals predicted safety. Good on a savanna, risky in a meeting. The body kept you alive, so the brain gives bodily cues precision. Modern life decouples arousal from danger. Coffee spikes don't mean cruelty. Sleep debt doesn't mean betrayal. Hangover fog doesn't mean malice inside. We need to talk. Markers become shortcuts. Useful when stakes are low, brittle when novelty or speed rises. That gut flip before a talk might be bad energy, or just sympathetic activation doing its job. You won't know unless you test, not assume. Micro-test. Label state before vibe. 2 coffees, 5 hours sleep. Timestamp the surge. Minute 12, chest tight. If it drifts without new information in 10 minutes, that was physiology echoing, not truth from the room. Precision slides with state. Caffeine inflates confidence in internal cues. Sleep loss lowers sensory precision and shrinks willingness to update. Alcohol blunts error sensitivity. Stale priors dominate the morning after. On those days, your intuition is a body-weighted vote, not a balanced count. False angle. If dissociation kept you safe, flatness feels like truth. The insula's channel narrows. Prefrontal control takes over. I feel nothing, so it's fine, while small, real errors slip by. Treat both arousal and calm as inputs, not verdicts. Microstory. Can we talk later? Lands when you're underslept and dehydrated. Stomach tightens. Prior. Talks explode. You type a defensive paragraph, then hold. That evening, a scheduling question. The signal was physiology wearing an old story. Calibrate the witness. Sleep, food, water first. Then interoception training. 60 seconds tracking heartbeat without touching your pulse. Compare to actual count. Teach the insula to sort signal from static. Add CO2 tolerance. Slow nasal inhale, longer nasal exhale, brief comfortable holds after exhale. To decouple air hunger from panic. Use context anchors. On entry, name 5 specifics. Blue chair, fern, frosted glass, silver pen, clock at 9. Orientation boosts sensory precision and gives prediction error a lane. If the room is safe, specifics ease you within minutes. If not, the tension holds, good to know. Pre-commit on volatile days. Underslept, overcaffeinated, or foggy. Cap gut authority on long-tail decisions. Revisit in 4 hours after food and water. Not self-betrayal, precision hygiene. One more micro-test. Is this me the feed or fatigue? If it's you, clear pattern, grounded body, proceed. If it's the feed, fear content echo, pause. If it's fatigue, physiology loud, world quiet, defer wait. Tiny triage prevents dozens of misreads. Your insula will keep broadcasting. Train it. Respect it. And when it's noisy, don't hand it the mic alone. The 5 loop archetypes. While your body sets the first vote and your feeds train the priors, the rest of the cast are legacy alarms. Predictive loops learned early, rehearsed often, and now mistaken for intuition. 5 show up again and again. You'll recognize your lead within a minute. Loop 1, the abandonment detector. Stakes first. When this loop runs, closeness feels expensive. You protect yourself by pre-leaving, downgrading people, scanning for distance, bracing for the drop. Action. A reply is an hour late. Your chest tightens. The insula flags arousal. Your model retrieves the old map. Silence equals retreat. Retreat equals discard. You rate the relationship as unsafe, withhold warmth, and prove the threat by pulling back. Impact. Opportunities for secure attachment thin out. Partners feel tested instead of trusted, and the very signal you crave, steady presence, never gets a chance to land. Loop 2, authority compliance. Stakes. Power becomes a weather system you must read perfectly or get struck. You sacrifice agency to avoid imagined punishment. Action. A manager's tone goes flat. Your jaw locks. The prior spins. Challenge equals reprimand. You default to yes, suppress dissent, and call it professionalism. Impact. Your competence grows. Your voice shrinks. You're praised for being reliable, but skipped for roles that require pushback. Meanwhile, resentment simmers. Evidence, to your loop, that power is dangerous. Loop 3, contamination vigilance. Stakes. Ambiguity turns toxic. Not just dirt, uncertainty, novelty, change. You overclean the world by narrowing choices until life feels sterile. Action. A plan has moving parts. Your stomach grips. The prior mutters. Complexity hides harm. You strip variability, stick to safe routines, and avoid spaces you can't sanitize. Ideas, people, places. Impact. You reduce friction and accidentally erase growth. The future shrinks to fit what you can control, then blames the world for feeling small. Loop 4, status radar. Stakes. Social loss reads like existential risk. You steer by micro-approval and over-index on rank cues. Action. A friend shines. Your chest warms and stings. The prior breathes. If they rise, you fall. You humble brag, withhold congratulations, or rework your story to reclaim footing. In groups, you chase visibility over fit. Impact. Wins feel brittle. Connection turns transactional. You optimize perception and underinvest in craft. Ironically, the status you protect drifts because people feel the calculation. Loop 5, catastrophe rehearsal. Stakes. Safety is purchased with worst-case vividness. If you imagine it, you'll survive it. Action. A plan forms. Your mind auto-completes 10 collapses. You tour emergency exits in your head until your body believes the fire already started. You delay launches, over-insure decisions, and mistake dread for due diligence. Impact. You avoid avoidable pain and miss compounding upside. The skill of risk sizing atrophies. Everything costs the same. A lot. Here's the twist. Each loop began as intelligence. Abandonment detection kept you from begging for love. Authority compliance shielded you from someone volatile. Contamination vigilance protected you from chaos. Status radar brought you belonging when rules were opaque. Catastrophe rehearsal gave you a plan when adults didn't. The problem isn't that the loops exist. It's that they were never told when to stand down. Micro-stories quick. Abandonment. Maya freezes at sounds good, talk later. She replies with a cool, no worries, and goes dim. 2 hours later, her partner's photo shows a dead battery symbol. Authority. Jorge reads, "We need to revisit your proposal," as code for "you overstepped." He strips the edge that made it interesting. The project dies safely. Contamination. Lila declines a last-minute invite because, "I don't do spontaneity," then wonders why serendipity never finds her. Status. Erin scrolls a colleague's win, posts a vague, "big things coming," and spends the night fixing optics instead of the product. Catastrophe. Priya triple-checks backups, expects servers to fail, delays shipping, and misses the window that would have taught her the system holds. Stakes recap across loops. Relationships, preemptive exits. Work, self-silencing or busy work. Health, Stress chemistry as baseline. Money, risk-averse in upside, risk-seeking in panic. Meaning, life pruned to what your alarm can tolerate. How do they harden? Repetition plus shame. Each time the loop fires, you feel foolish for carrying, then double down to avoid carrying again. Social reinforcement helps. Find a group where vigilance is virtue, and your loop gets a standing ovation. Memory edits to match. Your brain spotlights the one unread message that preceded a breakup, not the 50 unread messages that preceded nothing. Now the hopeful part. Loops are learned. Learned things can be relearned. Not by arguing mid-spike, but by adjusting precision. We'll build that kit next. For now, name your lead loop. When it shows up, don't moralize it. Label it abandonment, authority, contamination, status, catastrophe, and add 3 words, not a prophecy. That's your first inch of slack. How priors harden: learning, shame, and rehearsal. To see why loops stop listening, go back to how the brain learns. It's simple math with human skin on it. Repetition plus salience equals consolidation. Each time a threat prediction works, or only feels like it worked, your model tightens its grip. Precision creeps up a notch. A dozen neutral outcomes don't weigh as much as one emotionally vivid hit. So the prior thickens where your nervous system felt the most. Now add shame. Shame is glue. It doesn't just hurt, it edits learning. When the loop fires and you later realize you overreacted, the sting doesn't reset the model. It pushes you to hide the misread, avoid review, and rehearse the loop. Privately, I'm dramatic becomes, next time, I won't be caught off guard. The story survives by switching costumes. Instead of updating, you escalate preparation. Shame blocks error from teaching. Here's how the consolidation cycle actually runs. First, selective attention. You scan for confirming cues and miss disconfirmations, sliding past the edge of awareness. Second, memory editing. At night, your brain privileges emotionally charged frames. The one pulled face, the one delayed reply, the one hard tone. Third, rehearsal. You replay the threat scenario to be ready, which the brain interprets as evidence it matters. Rehearsal is training. Every repetition reweights the prior. Microstory. Dev hears, we should talk. His abandonment loop surges. He drafts exits, imagines the apartment split, rehearses lines that protect pride. The talk is about vacation plans. Relief floods, then shame. Instead of logging the prediction error, he vows to stay cooler next time, which means rehearsing harder. The loop gets practiced, not correction. Social reinforcement makes it stickier. Find a group where your loop is currency and watch sensitivity become status. Catastrophe rehearsal earns praise in risk-obsessed forums. Status radar wins likes in performance spaces. Contamination vigilance gets nods in purity subcultures. Meanwhile, counterexamples are framed as naive. The tribe supplies the evidence your model craves, and the prior's precision climbs with every exactly and same. There's a quieter layer, state-dependent encoding. Episodes consolidated under high arousal are recalled most strongly when your body is back in that state. So coffee mornings summon abandonment scripts. Underslept Thursdays resurrect authority panic. It feels like intuition. It's retrieval bias. Your brain fetches the memory that matches your chemicals. Shame accelerates all of this by shrinking hypothesis space. When you feel foolish, you don't explore alternatives, you minimize exposure. Less exploration means fewer chances to discover you were wrong safely. Fewer discoveries mean fewer prediction errors with enough salience to budge the model. The loop wins by default, not by proof. Another microstory. Somvi gets a quick sync from her director. Authority loop lights up. She arrives small, agrees fast, leaves dissatisfied. Later, she realizes the ask was vague. She could have proposed scope. Shame hits. Instead of reviewing the tape, she writes a new rule. Keep interactions short. That rule ensures she never tests a bolder bid, so the loop never risks being disproved. Precision hardens in silence. Depersonalization plays accomplice here. When overcontrol flattens feeling, you can function while avoiding contact with corrective signals. Meetings get efficient and bloodless. Relationships get low conflict and low data. You stop feeling consequences, which makes the loop unassailable. If nothing lands, nothing updates. The rehearsal piece deserves plain language. The brain doesn't differentiate much between vivid imagination and lived experience for learning purposes. Mentally walking through rejection, punishment, contamination, loss, or collapse tags those pathways as important. Importance buys precision. Precision buys priority in future perception. That's how a just-in-case habit becomes a this-is-how-it-is worldview. So how do priors soften? Not by lectures, by experience with enough weight to compete. But you can't drop heavy counter-evidence on a system mid-spike and expect integration. You start with conditions that let error register. Lower arousal, higher orientation, smaller bets. That's why regulation first, then updating, is the backbone of change. If the body can hear, the mind can learn. Before we build the 4, our kit flagged 2 booby traps. 1. Confirmation journaling, logs that only track proofs, not misses. 2. Survival math. I kept me safe, used to justify false positives. Both feel wise, both entrench precision. We'll replace them with an evidence ledger that actually survives bias. Human moment to close. A father texts his teen, gets silence, feels the old fear, writes 3 warnings, then stops. He breathes out slow, names 5 objects in the room, and sends 1 line. Thinking of you. 30 minutes later, a photo arrives, bike tire flat. The brain notes a tiny prediction error in a regulated state. 1 notch of precision loosens. It's not a miracle. It's a hinge. Loops don't harden by accident. They harden by practice, pain-weighted attention, and applause. We're going to interrupt all 3. Then we'll rehearse something else. The 4R recalibration protocol overview. Here's the kit. For moves that don't argue with your brain, they retrain it. Recognize, record, reweight, rehearse. We're not thinking positive. We're adjusting precision, so prediction error can get a word in. Evidence-based echoes show up throughout. Exposure principles, interoceptive training, cognitive reappraisal. But the frame stays. Bayesian, change the weights, not the world. Our 1 is recognize. Catch the loop while it's running, not 3 hours later. You'll learn a 15-second drill to name the active loop, spot where it lives in your body, and tag state influences, sleep, caffeine, alcohol, feed residue. You'll add a fast filter. Is this me, the feed, or fatigue? The goal isn't to be right on the spot, it's to break fusion. Labeling turns prophecy into prior. Our 2 is record. Your memory edits to flatter your priors. So we steal that editing bay. 3 lines, same day. Trigger, prediction, outcome. Then 1 counterfactual. What else could explain it? You'll bank disconfirmations so they don't vanish. A next day audit bypasses state-dependent recall. You'll be clearer after sleep. Weekly, you'll rate confidence versus correctness to expose precision drift. Our 3 is reweight. This is the heart of precision tuning. First regulate, then update. You'll use breath pacing and CO2 tolerance drills to lower interoceptive precision when it's miscalibrated. You'll use cold/calm pairing and external orientation to safely upshift sensory precision. Then you'll run small behavioral experiments with prediction bets, so reality can deliver error with enough salience to matter. You'll diversify inputs, offline cross-source, to dilute echo precision. And you'll follow 1 rule like it's a seatbelt. Never reweight during spikes. Our 4 is rehearse. New weights don't stick in theory. They stick in context. You'll run tiny bets, 5% risks, with clear of / then cues at known triggers. You'll rehearse somatically. Posture, gaze, tone calibrated to safety. You'll stage a 2-chair dialogue between alarm voice and analyst voice to reassign authority. And you'll track 1 metric, the intuitive lag shrinking. How fast your gut follows facts. What does success look like? Not silence, not a permanently calm body. Success is an intuition that compresses experience, not fear. You'll feel prediction errors land without needing to defend your old model. Delay between cue and story shortens. Arousal stops deciding precision on its own. Your I knew it shifts from doom rehearsal to tested pattern recognition. Let's set expectations. This isn't linear. Some weeks wins stack. Others, your feed, sleep, and stress conspire and the old loop roars. That's not a failure, it's a stress test. Regressions are part of learning. The question isn't, did I avoid the loop? It's, did I recognize it earlier, log it cleaner, reweight after regulation, and rehearse the correction? If yes, you're building a different nervous system habit. A few guardrails. Don't try to run all 4 RS at once like a productivity sprint. Front load recognize until labeling feels automatic. Then add record for 2 weeks, no judgment. Only when you've got data do you start reweight experiments. Rehearse comes last, because it's where you lock gains in real life. If you skip order, you'll end up debating a high-precision prior while spiked, aka losing. Also, context matters. If trauma memories surge or depersonalization flattens everything, layer support. These tools sit alongside therapy, not in place of it. Grounding and breath won't dissolve history. They make room for learning inside it. And if substances reliably detune your interoception, set floor rules, sleep, caffeine limits, alcohol windows, so you aren't negotiating with a hijacked signal. Micro preview of each are in motion. Recognize. Abandonment loop, chest tight, 2 coffees, 5 hours sleep. Record. Trigger, late reply, prediction, ghost, outcome busy, counterfactual, meeting ran over. Reweight, slow exhale, name 5 objects, bet. 50% they answer by 8. Rehearse, if no reply by 8, then send a warm, specific prompt. Hold tone steady, shoulders down. Most important, we're protecting curiosity. Curiosity is prediction error's friend. Shame is its enemy. Every time you label a loop without moralizing, you preserve the part of you that can learn. Every time you bank a disconfirmation, you give your future self a receipt. Every time you regulate first, you keep the prefrontal manager from micromanaging the whole floor. In a minute, we'll build a one in detail, a 15-second loop detector, a sensation map that points to the Insula's headlines, and a trigger taxonomy that includes people, places, and states. Then we'll give you 3 interrupt questions and an anchor phrase you can say in public without sounding like you're narrating a neuroscience documentary. After that, we'll move to the ledger that survives bias. The kit is simple for a reason. Complexity flatters anxiety. Simplicity moves behavior. For moves, one order, loop repeat until your gut starts telling. We start with speed. 15 seconds to loosen a loop. Step 1, label it. Quietly, like you're reading a file. Abandonment. Authority. Contamination. Status. Catastrophe. Don't argue. Labels break fusion. They turn "this is happening" into "this is my model speaking." Step 2. Map the sensation. Where does it live right now? Chest buzz? Gut twist? Jaw clamp? Shoulders up? That's your anterior insula's headline. Say it out loud if you can. Chest tight, jaw tense. You're not diagnosing, you're inventorying. Step 3. Tag the state. What's on board that could tilt precision? Sleep debt, caffeine, alcohol, hormones, illness, post-scroll residue. 1 line. 2 coffees, 5 hours sleep, doom thread this morning. You're not excusing the feeling. You're accounting for noise in the channel. Step 4. Check the input. Me, feed, or fatigue. Ask it straight. If it's me, clear pattern, grounded body. Proceed with caution. If it's the feed, echoes of what you've consumed, pause and put the phone down. If it's fatigue, physiology loud, world quiet, defer wait. 15 seconds. Label. Map. Tag. Check. Distance without dismissal. Now give the loop a place to land. Build your sensation map in calm moments so you're fluent under pressure. 10 seconds, 3 times a day. Scan crown, eyes, jaw, throat, chest, diaphragm, gut, pelvis, hands. Note neutral, tight, hot, numb. You're training vocabulary, so body headlines don't hijack the plot. Next, a trigger taxonomy. 3 buckets: people, places, states. People, faces and roles that flip you, bosses, partners, critics, silent types. Places, rooms and contexts, glass offices, waiting rooms, group chats, family kitchens. States, underslept, overcaffeinated, hungover, hungry, hormonally spiky, illness, post-scroll. Write 5 in each bucket. The point isn't to avoid them. It's to stop being surprised by them. When a trigger hits, use 3 interrupts. 1. What's the simplest non-threatening explanation I'm not considering? 2. If I had to bet cash, what odds do I give each story, threat versus neutral? 3. What would I need to see in the next hour to actually confirm the threat? You're not demanding calm. You're demanding alternatives, probabilities, and criteria. That's how prediction error gets a lane. Anchor phrase. The thing you can say in public without sounding like you swallowed a textbook. This is a prior, not a prophecy. Or shorter. Prior, not prophecy. Prefer story, not signal? Fine. Say it while your shoulders drop 1 notch and your jaw loosens. Micro-relaxation keeps the prefrontal manager from tightening the whole floor. Put it together in a micro scene. You open a calendar invite. Quick sync. Your stomach grips. Label. Authority loop. Map. Jaw tight, chest buzz. Tag. 3 hours sleep, 2 espressos. Check. Fatigue. Interrupt 1. Simpler non-threat. Scope check. Interrupt 2. Odds. Threat 30, neutral 70. Interrupt 3. Proof? Raised voice, removal of scope. Anchor phrase, shoulders down. You enter oriented. Chair color, window, pen, clock. You ask, what's the goal? Then let 5 minutes of data earn the plot. Timing matters. Run this at first spike. Don't wait for meaning making to escalate. The earlier you label, the cheaper the update. Run it again after the moment passes, especially if the outcome contradicted the loop. Trigger, late reply. Prediction, ghost. Outcome, meeting ran over. 2 rounds of recognition around 1 tiny error in a regulated state beat 10 wired postmortems. Common snags. Moralizing the loop. Ugh, I'm doing it again. Drop it. Curiosity learns, shame glues priors. Fishing for reassurance. Recognition isn't crowdsourcing safety. It's precision about your machinery. Rushing to fix. Our one ends at labeling and light probability. No debates mid-spike. Regulation next, not here. Make it automatic. If your loop loves text delays, attach recognize to the 3rd time you check your phone. If it loves meetings, attach recognize to the door handle. If it loves nights, attach recognize to lights out. Pair a habit with a hinge. 2 quick microstories. Abandonment loop. Scene 3:14 p.m. Label, abandonment. Map, chest heat. Tag, 1 coffee, slept well. Check me. Interrupts, shift odds to neutral. Anchor phrase. At 3:28, sorry, sprint review. Prediction error lands. Authority loop. Can we revisit? Label, authority. Map jaw. Tag, underslept. Check, fatigue. Anchor. In the call. Which part? It's a nit, not a verdict. Error lands with less sting. Last piece. Write your personal anchor. Use your voice. I'm hearing my training talk. Old map, new street. Not a prophecy. Put it where your eyes land. Lock screen, keyboard, notebook margin. Recognize doesn't solve the loop. It makes it visible, nameable, movable. It preserves the sliver of slack you'll need for the next star. Label fast. Map honestly. Tag your state. Ask the 3 questions. Then stop. We'll use that slack. To build a record your priors can't edit. R2, record. Evidence logging that survives bias. Recognition buys you slack. Recording buys you truth. Without a record, your priors become editors. They'll cut scenes that contradict the story and highlight frames that hurt the most. So we build a ledger that survives bias. Simple, fast, same day. The 3-line log is the spine. Line 1, trigger. Line 2, prediction. Line 3, outcome. That's it. No essays, no therapy novel. Just cue, forecast, result. Add a 4th when you can, counterfactual. What else could explain it? Keep it under 40 seconds, so you'll actually do it. Why the rush? Your memory is not a camera, it's a press office. It releases narratives that protect your prior's reputation. Same-day logs bypass that PR team. The sooner you write, the less your loop can inflate salience or erase disconfirmations. Precision hygiene, catching evidence before shame and story wash it. Tuesday example. Trigger, no reply to my 11:02 text. Prediction, ghosted. Outcome, reply at 12:47 in back-to-backs. Counterfactual, they were in meetings. You don't grade yourself yet. No lesson, just a receipt your future brain can't argue with. Then run the next day audit. Before coffee, scan yesterday's entries and star any disconfirmations. Moments where reality contradicted your loop. Timing matters. Sleep resets arousal. The prefrontal manager is quieter. This is when prediction error can slip past defenses. Starred entries become your disconfirmation bank. The pile that proves your gut can change. Weekly, a 5-minute review. 2 columns, confidence and correctness. For each prediction, jot your felt certainty, out of 10, and circle whether it was right. Average both. If confidence runs hot while correctness lags, that's precision drift. You feel sure more than you're right. That gap is the weight we'll reassign in a 3. Micro stories, quick and concrete. Nia's calendar scare, trigger, check-in invite. Prediction, performance issue. Outcome, promotion path. Counterfactual, manager is planning growth. Star next morning. Luis's email dread. Trigger, subject re-budget. Prediction, cut. Outcome, clarify numbers. Counterfactual, he needed a line item. Jade's status sting. Trigger, colleagues win post. Prediction, I'm falling behind. Outcome, I shipped 2 features this week. Counterfactual, different lanes. Common traps and fixes. Confirmation journaling, only logging hits. Fix. Log every prediction you notice, right or wrong. Even 5-a-week shifts learning. Post hoc grading, turning data into shame. Fix. Keep entries behavioral, not moral. Outcome busy. Not, I overreacted. Late logging. Waiting days so your loop revises the film. Fix. Set a 2-minute window after the outcome. Capture while it's fresh. Design for your frictions. Paper beats perfection. A pocket notebook with a 4-line template scribbled on the first page beats a pretty app you'll avoid. Live on your phone. Pin a note with a trigger. 3/P/O/CF/. So your thumbs can fly. Privacy worry? Use initials and shorthand. TR. NR at 11:02. PR GST. Out. 12:47:000. CF meetings. Pair recording with context anchors. Before you write, 1 slow exhale. Name 1 neutral detail. Blue mug. That tiny orientation puts enough precision on sensory input that the record isn't colored entirely by arousal. You're not seeking zen, you're preventing dramatized entries. Make the disconfirmations bank pay off. Create a running list, just the date and a 7-word headline. Late text, meeting ran over. Flat tone, was migraine. Quiet boss, prepping board deck. Read this bank before known triggers. If your abandonment loop loves evenings, glance at 3-starred lines at 5 p.m. Preload your model with counter-evidence, so prediction error isn't a stranger when it arrives. Add a what would have proved it line once a week. Pick 1 repeated trigger and answer concretely. Real proof of ghosting. 3 days, no reply to a clear question after prior consistency. Now your loop has criteria. It can't call every delay a verdict. 1 note on compassion. Recording isn't caught, it's calibration. If an entry stings, keep it small. If you miss days, restart without self-lecture. The only failure is turning data into blame. We're not hunting gotchas. We're building a map your intuition can trust. Recognize gave you the name. Record gives you the numbers. Next, we'll change the weights so those numbers can actually move the story. Our 3, Reweight, precision tuning, and interoceptive reset. Recognition and recording bought you slack and receipts. Now change the mix. Reweighting tunes precision, downweighting overconfident priors, and upweighting clean sensory data. So prediction error can get through. Don't debate mid-spike. Change the conditions your model uses to decide what to trust. Core sequence, short and repeatable regulate. 2 slow nasal breaths with longer exhales, for inches 6, 8 out. Reset, 1 cold/calm pair, cool water 2. Wrists or face, plus name 2 objects plus 1 long exhale. Orient, eyes to corners, trace 1 straight line, name 1 color. Bet, state odds and proof criteria before acting. Behave as if neutral as possible, then record. Interoceptive tools breath pacing lowers interoceptive precision. Long, easy exhales tell your nervous system. Not a sprint. 3 rounds, not 30. You're not chasing bliss. You're lowering arousal, so the body stops hijacking the waiting. CO2 tolerance recalibrates the insula. After an exhale, hold briefly and comfortably, then resume slow nasal breathing. You're teaching your insula that air hunger isn't danger by default. Over days, the same sensations trigger less threat tagging. Confidence in internal noise drops. Cold/calm pairing safely upshifts sensory precision. Brief cold, wrist/face/neck. Plus 1 grounding glance, name 2 objects, plus a slow exhale tells your brain, here now. The cold spikes signal. Orienting anchors it so you don't spin. Bayesian mechanics in action prediction, bets make error salient enough to move priors. Before you act on a loop, set odds and criteria. Threat 30%, neutral 70%. Proof of threat equals scope removed. Then behave as if neutral as possible, send the warm prompt, ask the clarifier. When the check time hits, log the outcome. The bet sharpens attention to disconfirmation and gives error the weight to retune precision. Seatbelt rule, never reweight during spikes. If you're jittery, you're not updating, you're litigating. Regulate breath, reset cold/calm, orient room specifics. Then check your plan. This downshifts prefrontal overcontrol, so bottom-up data can matter. Input hygiene social proof reset. Your inputs are training data. Replace 30 minutes of doom scroll with 10 minutes of street time, 5 minutes of neighbor talk, 5 minutes with a source that publishes corrections. Offline variance widens hypothesis space. Reputable variance cuts algorithmic precision inflation. High volatility caps. Underslept, overcaffeinated, or post-alcohol. Pre-commit. No long-tailed decisions until water, food, and 2 breath rounds. Not avoidance, precision hygiene. You're refusing to let a noisy Insula set market price. Live Reweight quick sync. Jaw clamps. Recognize plus record done. Now, 2 slow nasal exhales. Cold on wrist. Blue mug plant. Shoulders drop. Bet. Threat 30, neutral 70. Proof equals scope removed. Ask, what outcome are you aiming for? Data lands. Log after. If neutral, the miss becomes corrective weight. If tough, adjust without shame. You predicted a non-zero. Interoceptive reset daily. Heartbeat tracking. 60 seconds, feel and count. No fingers on neck. Then check pulse. Close the gap over time. Align felt signal with actual signal. Reduce misattribution. Micro-orientation entering charged rooms. Eyes to corners, trace a line, name a color. Subtle. You're inviting the world back into the model. Somatic precision cues posture, gaze, tone shift priors. Shoulders 1 notch down, jaw unhooked, breath low, voice 5% slower. Not performance. Safety cues to yourself. Output changes feed back into state and waiting. Micro-stories Myers abandonment loop spikes at scene 4:12 p.m. Breath cold/calm. Sync window. Bet. Reply by 60%. At 5:38. Sorry, client call. She logs, stars next morning, rereads before dinner. 3 weeks later, default odds shift away from prophecy. Jorge's authority loop bristles at revisit. He regulates, sets proof criteria, asks, which part is shaky? Minor metric, not a verdict. He fixes it and logs the prediction error. Confidence eases into accuracy. Common snags and fixes, ritualizing, turning Reweight into a marathon. Fix, 2 breaths plus 1 anchor, beats a 10-minute odyssey you'll skip. Daring bets, treating odds as challenges. Fix, clarify forecasts, don't force outcomes. Skipping input resets. Breathing at night while your feed trains panic by day. Fix, audit sources. Track success by lag, measure the delay between new evidence and your gut yielding. Weeks 1-2 may be hours. Weeks 4-5, 20 minutes. By week 8-10, feel the handoff. The moment the body stops insisting and starts listening. That's reweighted precision. Write your 1-line script where you'll see it. Regulate, orient, bet, behave as if neutral as possible, record. You're not faking calm. You're making room for reality to speak louder than yesterday's alarm. R4. Rehearse, contextual relearning and micro-exposures. Reweighting shifts the mix, rehearsal locks it in. You're teaching your nervous system on the field, not in the lab. Use tiny bets, 5% risks, because brains learn fastest from small, repeated wins that don't terrify them. No heroics. Stack micro-updates until intuition compresses experience instead of replaying fear. Design tiny bets, 1 loop at a time. Abandonment. Send 1 warm, specific prompt that assumes connection. Loved your note, call it 6. Authority. Ask 1 clarifier. Which? Outcome are we optimizing? Contamination. Say yes to a mildly messy plan. I'll join. Let's decide the last detail on site. Status. Offer 1 unqualified congratulations, then close the app. Catastrophe. Ship 1 small version with a rollback you will actually test. Pair each bet with Bayesian scaffolding prediction plus criteria plus score. Right. Prediction. 60% neutral/positive. Criteria. Reply by 8 p.m. score. -2 0, +2, no reply, neutral positive. You're grading outcomes without drama and giving error salience to move priors. Repeat with cadence. Daily if you can, 3 times a week if you count. Consistency, intensity. Implementation intentions. If / then wiring. If a reply is late after 4 p.m., then breathe twice, send 1 warm prompt, and don't check for 15 minutes. If a manager says revisit, then ask which metric moved. If the group chat spikes status panic, then write a congrats and close the app. If a plan feels contaminated, then leave 1 variable open on purpose. If your mind rehearses collapse, then write a 2-line rollback and hit send. Somatic rehearsal, teach by body. 5% shifts only. Shoulders 1 notch down, jaw unhooked, breath slower on the out. Eyes anchor to faces not screens. Voice 5% slower than adrenaline wants. Practice in calm moments, so it's available when loops light up. Ask the clarifier with the body of someone expecting an answer, not a blow. 2 chair drill, assign roles. Chair 1, alarm 90 seconds, playing claims. silence means retreat. Flat tone means punishment. Chair 2, analyst no debate, right criteria and bets. Proof equals X by Y. We're running a 5% test. Repeat twice. End from analyst with a carry line. Old map, new street. Or prior, not prophecy. This isn't theatre, it's governance. Alarm warns, analyst decides. Measure progress by intuitive lag, log the delay between new evidence and your gut yielding. Early, mind knows first, body follows hours later. With rehearsal, gaps shrink, minutes then breaths. The turn, the moment your chest loosens without force, is the metric. Microstories abandonment, Tollier's scene spike. If slash then fires, 2 exhales, warm prompt, no check for 15. Reply at 8:06. Score +2. Next week, lag shrinks. Her body yields on the second breath. Authority, Ken hears revisit. 2 chair last night leaves a line in reach. Which metric? It's a misspecified denominator. Score +2. Somatic setting keeps his voice steady long enough to hear it. Contamination. Nor says yes with 1 open variable. Messy and fun. Score +2. Next week, she leaves 2 variables loose by design. Status. Eli congratulates first, closes the app, and spends the saved hour on craft. He ships. Internal status ticks up for real. Catastrophe. Rhea ships with a rollback. Minor bug. Rollback works. Score +2. Her nervous system learns, the only way it trusts, that systems hold. Common snags, and how to dodge them, overexposure, jumping to 50% risks. You'll white knuckle, then avoid. Stay at 5% until boredom whispers, then raise. Ritual creep. Turning rehearsal into a checklist you fail. Keep 1 cue per loop. Outcome chasing. Grading only by wins. We score clarity 2. A clean no beats a week of rumination. Make it live inside your day morning. 1 2-chair round, 3 minutes. Midday, 1 tiny bet. Evening, log and score 40 seconds. Weekend, 5-minute lag review. When stress spikes, shrink reps, not standards. 2 breaths, 1 anchor, a smaller bet you can stomach. You're not erasing alarms. You're retraining who they report to. Each 5% risk plants a flag in new territory. Field labs. Soon your gut recognizes the terrain money and guides you there. Now we take the kit meat into messy rooms. For field labs, each designed to surface your loop, run a tiny bet, and log an update. Keep it small, keep it fast, keep it scored. Work first. The threat read of authority emails. Setup. Pick 3 days this week. Pre-commit your if/then. If an email or Slack from a manager lands with flat tone or vague subject, then run 2 slow exhales, scan 1 corner, and ask 1 clarifier. Which outcome are we optimizing? Or which part feels light? Prediction bet before you open. Threat 30%, neutral 70%. Criteria for real threat. Scope removed, role reduced, timeline cut without cause. Action. When the ping hits, label the loop. Map jaw or chest, tag sleep and caffeine. Place your bet, then send the clarifier with shoulders down and voice 5% slower if it's a call. Record. 3-line log plus counterfactual. Debrief. End of day, ask. Did reality match the loop, or the bet? Star any disconfirmations in the morning. Impact. Over a week, your intuitive lag will shrink from hours to minutes. You'll feel the moment your body yields to data. Love. Abandonment loop during delayed replies. Setup. Choose 1 contact that matters. Define proof of ghosting. 3 days, no reply to a clear question, after prior consistency. If/then. If a reply is late after 4 p.m., then breathe twice, send 1 warm, specific prompt. Thinking of you. Call at 6, and wait 15 minutes without checking. Prediction bet. Reply by 8 p.m., 60%. Action. When the silence stretches, label, map, tag state, place bet, send prompt, orient to the room. Record. Trigger, prediction, outcome, counterfactual. Next day star if neutral or positive. Impact. The system learns that most delays equal calendars, not exits. You don't silence need. You give prediction error a microphone. Money. Scarcity loop during market dips. Setup. Pick a small position. An amount you can risk without spiking. Write rules ahead of time. What % drop counts as noise? What % is thesis change? What time of day windows you don't touch? If/then. If price drops within noise band, then no trade. Run 2 breaths, read thesis, log urge. If price hits thesis change band, then execute pre-written action. Prediction bet each morning. Dip resolves by close, 55%. Action. When the red candle hits, label loop, map gut, tag caffeine and sleep, check band, place bet, follow rule. Record. Log urge and outcome. Debrief weekly. Confidence versus correctness. Impact. You stop confusing adrenaline for signal. You start trusting rules over spikes. Scarcity loses the steering wheel. Safety. Urban night walk with graded exposures. Setup. Choose a well-lit block you've visited in daytime. Bring a friend for rep 1 if needed. Then. If arousal spikes on the block, then orient to 5 specifics: storefront, lamppost, mailbox, street name, sky color. 2 slow exhales and walk to the predetermined corner. No route changes unless clear external cue appears: shouting, sprinting figure, vehicle behavior. Prediction bet. Neutral 80%. Safeguards. Share location. Set 10-minute check-in. Action. Begin at dusk for rep 1. Label loop, map chest, tag feed residue, place bet walk. Name specifics at the first spike. If a genuine cue appears, obey it. You're not proving bravery, you're testing calibration. Record. Log the spike time, the cues, the outcome. Next day, star disconfirmations. Progression. Each week, add 1 variable, 5 more minutes, 1 new block, 1 solo rep. Impact. Your nervous system learns the difference between cinematic montage and street-level data. Debrief template across labs. What did I predict? What happened? What would have proved the threat? What did I do that gave error a lane? Keep it under 3 minutes. Read starred disconfirmations before the next rep. You're preloading your model with counter-evidence, so reality doesn't have to shout. 2 microscenes. Work. Roadmap. Jaw tight. Label, authority. Bet, threat 25. Clarifier. Which milestone? Reply. Timeline slid 2 days. Star next morning. Love. Scene 914. Chest heat. Label, abandonment. Bet, reply by 8:60. Warm prompt sent. 7:52. Sorry, bus ran late. Star. Money. Noon dip. Label, catastrophe. Bet, resolves by close 55. Follow rule. No trade in noise band. Close green. Star. Safety. Dusk walk. Label. Status radar echo from feed. Orient. Blue awning, 3B door, white truck, elm, crescent moon. Apartment lights, dog walkers, distant laughter. Neutral. Star. If a lab delivers a true negative, tough feedback, a breakup, a real street cue, you don't fail. You adjust the bet and the criteria without shame. The point is not to make the world kind. It's to teach your system what evidence looks like and when to yield. Field labs turn theory into muscle memory. Tiny bets, scored outcomes, repeated reps. Your intuition stops cosplaying as prophecy and starts compressing experience for real. Digital detox, but Bayesian. We're not quitting the internet. We're recalibrating how much weight your brain gives to it. Think of this as a precision reset. Short, structured, and scored. Start with feed fasting. 7 days if possible. 3 if your job needs screens. Rule 1. Silent metrics. No likes, no comments, no view counts. Use reader modes, RSS, or email digest stripped of engagement cues. You're removing the slot machine sounds, so your priors stop bidding up arousal. Install delay inserts. Anything that spikes your body, rage, dread, euphoria. Wait 30 minutes. During the wait, label state, log a 1-line prediction, and do 2 slow nasal exhales. If it still matters after the interval, engage. If not, you've avoided training the loop. Run cross-source sampling. Choose 3 outlets that disagree and publish correction logs. Rotate them on alternate days. You're not seeking balance by committee. You're widening hypothesis space, so no single feed monopolizes certainty. Do a weekly algorithm or me? Audit. Review 5 reactions you had online. For each, tag the driver. Me, first-hand values. Feed, patterned arousal. Or fatigue, physiology talking. Star any that were feed or fatigue, and write a 1-liner you'd rather have trained. Pause, clarify, verify. You're telling the model what to wait next time. Shift mediums to lift sensory precision. Replace 30 minutes of scrolling with 15 minutes walking a familiar route, 5 minutes describing 5 details aloud, and 5 minutes calling 1 person. Direct, multi-sensory data restores the brain's trust in the world it occupies. Set posting lags. Draft, then hold 30 minutes. Reread with your body labeled. If it still tracks your values, send. If it was outrage heat, archive. You're decoupling arousal from publication. Gaming and VR? Add a cooldown. 2 breaths, name 5 room specifics, reorient to your feet, then 1 small offline task. Wash a cup, fold a shirt. Teach your nervous system the exit ramp back to baseline. Cap doom slots. If you must consume threat content, fence it. 2 15-minute windows per day. Never after 8 p.m. outside those windows. Save to read and walk away. Scarcity starves the loop's rehearsal time. Finally, score the week. Confidence versus correctness on your online-driven predictions. If confidence runs hot and correctness lags, precision is still inflated. Repeat the protocol for another week. The goal isn't abstinence. It's a gut that stops outsourcing certainty to the feed. Maintenance, the 30/60/90 plan. You've run field labs and a Bayesian detox. Now you need a spine, a simple, repeatable arc that keeps gains from washing out when life gets loud again. Think of this as scheduled maintenance for your prediction engine. 30 days to stabilize, 60 to target a lead loop, 90 to ship 1 capstone decision with the protocol. No heroics, just rhythm. First 30 days, daily logs, 1 breath anchor, 1 orientation cue, 1 microbet, weekly reweight, 1 field lab. Keep it boring on purpose. Every day, capture at least 1 3-line entry. Trigger, prediction, outcome, plus 1 counterfactual. Before the first email or message, take 2 slow nasal exhales and name 1 neutral object in the room. That's your interoceptive dimmer and your sensory anchor. Cheap moves that keep precision from drifting by noon. By lunch, place 1 5% bet. Warm prompt instead of pre-exit, clarifier instead of capitulation, small ship with rollback instead of rumination. End of day, star any disconfirmations. Once a week, run a 5-minute reweight review. Confidence versus correctness averages. If confidence runs hot, you lower prior precision next week by pre-committing odds before charged moments. Pick 1 field lab, work, love, money, or safety, and do 1 rep. The point isn't volume, it's continuity. Your nervous system learns from cadence. From 31 to 60, you drop 1 loop's precision by design. Choose your lead, abandonment, authority, contamination, status, catastrophe, and give it the month. Write proof criteria that would actually confirm its alarm. Abandonment proof, 3 days, no reply to a clear question after prior consistency. Authority proof, scope removed or role reduced without cause. Contamination proof, distinct, present hazard, not just novelty. Status proof, loss of role due to lack of craft, not someone else's win. Catastrophe proof, objective, non-noise failure of thesis. Then set 3 5% exposures per week tuned to that loop. If it's abandonment, 3 warm prompts with a no-check window and clear bets. If it's authority, 3 clarifiers with somatic setting. Shoulders down, jaw unhooked, 5% slower voice. Contamination, 3 planned messes with 1 variable left open. Status, 3 clean congratulations and app close, followed by 1 hour on craft. Catastrophe, 3 small ships with real rollbacks you actually test. Keep daily logs light but relentless. Run 1 2-chair round twice a week to keep. Analyst in charge of criteria and bets. Protect sleep like a boundary. Underslept months inflate interoceptive precision and undo your math. The aim by day 60 isn't silence. It's a noticeably shorter lag between new evidence and your gut yielding. From 61 to 90, you pick 1 capstone decision you've been avoiding, the sort your loop loves to hijack, and you run the full protocol end to end. Work. Pitch the bolder scope you've sanded down. Love. Ask for a needed boundary or name a desire. Money. Execute a pre-written rule during a wobble. Safety. A graded solo exposure with safeguards. Write a 1-page decision brief you can read in 3 minutes. The loop at play, proof criteria, prediction with odds, rollback plan, somatic setting cues, and the exact record template you'll use. Schedule 3 preps. 1 rehearsal with the 2-chair drill, 1 somatic rehearsal in the actual room if possible, posture, gaze, tone, and 1 dry run of your rollback so your body trusts it. Then execute. Log immediately after. Next morning, star any disconfirmation or log what you learned if it was tough. Either way, the win is the process. You made precision work for you under pressure. Relapse kit is non-negotiable. Sleep is first. Minimum windows you don't trade. Caffeine rules. No new caffeine after noon. Have your usual dose on high volatility days. Conflict rules. No heavy conversations after 9 p.m. or before food and water. Draft and hold 30 minutes. Media caps. 2 15-minute doom slots, never late night. If depersonalization flattens everything, cut volume, not practice. 2 slow exhales, 1 room detail. 1 tiny bet you can stomach log. If you slip for a week, restart with the smallest loop. Recognize only, for 3 days, no self-lecture. Momentum returns faster than you think when shame isn't running ops. Add 1 accountability partner. Not a therapist, not a rescuer, a peer who respects data. Share your weekly confidence versus correctness numbers, and 1 starred disconfirmation. Swap 1 field lab plan. No rescuing, no co-rumination. 2 questions allowed. What would prove it? And what's the 5% bet? Put a 15-minute cap on the check-in. Accountability is a scalpel, not a hangout. Make the plan visual. 1 page on a door or digital home screen. Top row, daily. 2 exhale anchor, 1 room detail, 1 log, 1 5% bet. Middle row, weekly, reweight review, 2 chair twice, 1 field lab rep, disconfirmations bank read. Bottom row, monthly, lead loop target, month 2, or capstone brief, month 3. Checkmarks train dopamine to prefer process over prophecy. Expect turbulence. Weeks 5 to 6 often feel messy. Your loop senses it's losing unilateral authority and spikes to regain it. Answer with rhythm, not escalation. Keep reps small and steady. If your environment changes, new job, new city, new loss, shrink exposures and increase recording. Novelty stretches your model. Logging keeps it honest. You'll know maintenance is working when the boring parts feel satisfying. When a clean 3-line entry calms you faster than a thread. When your shoulders drop on the second breath without you ordering them to. When your intuitive lag tightens enough that your gut and the room start saying the same thing before nightfall. That's not luck. That's maintenance doing what heroics never do, making better predictions feel normal. 2 turnarounds, micro case studies. 2 arcs, 8 weeks each. Same kit, different loops. Watch how precision shifts when the body learns to listen, and how the Fora protocol rewires intuition with receipts. Case A, authority loop to assertive calm meet Dana, product lead. Praised for reliability, passed over for scope. Tell, jaw clamp back, can we revisit? VP emails triggered a full body yes before asking reflex. Week 1, recognize plus record are 1 recognize, 15 seconds label, authority. Map, jaw clamp, chest buzz. Tag, sleep 5 hours, 2 coffees. Input check, fatigue likely. Are 2 record, 3-line log after every managerial ping. She wrote trigger, prediction, outcome, added counterfactual. No fixes yet, just Slack and receipts. Ledger by Friday, 5 revisit triggers, 5 reprimand predictions, 5 clarifications as outcomes. Next morning, she starred 3 disconfirmations. Bayesian metrics, average confidence 8/10, correctness 3/5. Precision drift exposed. Intuitive lag 65 minutes, mind knows, body yields much later. Week 2, reweight or 3 reweight. Precision tuning 2 slow nasal exhales before opening re. From above, cold/calm pairing, cool water to wrist, name 2 objects. Then a prediction bet, threat 30%, neutral 70%. Seatbelt rule, never reweight mid-spike. If jaw stayed tight, wait 1 minute, then ask 1 clarifier. Which metric is most at risk? Outcomes, timelines, a footnote, a denominator, boring, fixable. Each outcome logged, disconfirmation bank grew. Flat tone, migraine day. Urgent subject, board moved date. Short sentence, phone typed. Metrics shift, Friday review. Showed confidence June 8th, 10, correctness steady. Intuitive lag down to 35 minutes. Week 3, rehearse or 4 rehearse, tiny bets 1 5% risk per day. Mon, what outcomes matter most? Tuesday, keep the edge, don't sand. Wed, propose a pilot. 2 chair drill, 90 seconds each alarm. Tone means trouble. Analyst, proof equals scope removed. Odds 25%. Run the 5% ask. Somatic setting, shoulders 1 notch down, voice 5% slower. Early week, the body yielded an hour post-meeting. By Friday, release on the second breath when VP said, love the pilot. Metrics, confidence June 5th, 10, correctness 7/10, intuitive lag 18 minutes. Week 4, field lab at scale pre-brief. Before we meet, which outcomes matter most? Shifted from weather reading to map making. In room, which part feels light? Curiosity over compliance. Answer, a mislabeled chart, fixed in minutes. Log, short, almost indifferent. Starred next morning. Intuitive lag from hours to minutes. Metrics snapshot. 16 predictions logged, 10 correct. Confidence 6.4/10. Lag 18 minutes. Weeks 5 to 8. Stack reps, not heroics daily. 1 clarifier. 1 edge protected. Proof criteria whispered before typing. Hygiene. No caffeine afternoon. No hard calls before food and water. Real hit, week 7. Scope reduced after budget cut. Analyst. Correct call. Non-zero predicted. Adjust plan. No moralizing, no global prophecy. By week 8, VP. You're pushing where it counts. Reliability now has a voice. Final metrics. Week 8 14 logs, 11 correct. Confidence June 1st, 10. Intuitive lag, 6 minutes. Lines converged. The jaw stopped deciding precision solo. Case B. Abandonment loop to secure signals meet Malik, designer. Chest flares at scene. Evenings bite. Caffeine residue. Doom thread residue. 5-hour sleep residue. Week 1. Recognize plus record or 1 recognize. Abandonment. Chest heat. 2 coffees. Doom scroll. Proof criteria on a sticky. 3 days. No reply to a clear question. After prior consistency. R2 record. Trigger. Late reply. Prediction. Ghost. Outcome. Context. Meeting. Commute. Kitchen chaos. Next day stars began to glint. Metrics. 10 predictions. 3 correct. Confidence 8.6/10. Intuitive lag 90 minutes. Week 2. Reweight breath pacing before checking. Cold/calm at the sink. Green sponge, chipped mug, long exhale. Daily prediction bet. 60% reply by 8. If/then. If no reply after 4 p.m., then send 1 warm, specific prompt and don't check for 15 minutes. Drafted prompts in advance to bypass adrenaline. Input hygiene. Replace 30 minutes of scrolling with a walk naming 5 details. Cap doom slots. No late night conflict. Metrics. Confidence July 2nd, 10. Correctness 10/16. Lag 40 minutes. Week 3. Rehearse tiny bets. 1 warm prompt late afternoon. 1 clean appreciation when the status sting hit. 1 small ship in his portfolio with a real rollback. Somatic texting. Shoulders down, jaw unhooked, breath low, thumb slow. 2 chair, alarm. Silence means retreat. Analyst. Proof is 3 days. Odds 65% neutral by 8. We're running the test. Anchor on screen. Prior, not prophecy. Metrics. Confidence June 9th, 10. Correctness up. Lag 22 minutes. Week 4. Field lab in love boundary ask. When you go dark, I tell a story. Can we agree to a same-day busy text? Predicted pushback 40%. Regulated asked logged. Friend, yes. Didn't realize it hit you that way. 7-word disconfirmation. Asked directly. Got a clear agreement. Read at 5 p.m. before the silence window to preload counter-evidence. Metrics. 18 predictions, 12 correct. Confidence June 9th, 10. Lag 22 minutes. Weeks 5 to 8. Bumps, then ballast 1 night. No reply. He followed proof criteria and waited. Day 2. Hospital visit. He cried, logged, starred. It hurt, and taught. 2 other nights. Scene 6:12. Reply 7:03. Each starred entry loosened the prior a notch. Week 7. A real breakup, kind honest. Analyst. Correct prediction. Not a global rule. He kept it as data, not destiny. Final metrics. Week 8 15 predictions, 12 correct. Confidence June 2nd, 10. Intuitive lag 8 minutes. Evenings stopped feeling like verdict hour. Across both arcs, the same lessons precision rules. Regulate before you update. Rehearsal beats rumination. 5% risks plant flags that stories count. Disconfirmations only teach when starred in a regulated state. Success isn't silence. It's intuition that compresses experience instead of replaying fear. One small human note. Both Dana and Malik had weeks that felt like failure. Both restarted with recognize only for 3 days, no self-lecture. Momentum returned because shame didn't run ops. That's not magic. That's what happens when you protect curiosity long enough for prediction error to get a word in. Meaning, what intuition becomes after recalibration. When the dust settles, intuition doesn't disappear. It changes jobs. Before, your gut was a historian of threat. Loud, dramatic, and early to panic. After recalibration, it becomes a compression engine. It packs thousands of micro-updates, logs, tiny bets, clean disconfirmations into a fast, quiet read. Not fortune-telling. Pattern recognition with humility baked in. The tone shifts first. Old intuition barged in with certainty. New intuition nudges and waits. It offers a first draft and expects edits. You still ask, what would prove it? You still place odds. The difference is that your first read now carries more of the world and less of yesterday's spike. In practice, recalibrated intuition sounds ordinary. At work, it whispers, ask for criteria, and your shoulders drop as the question leaves your mouth. In love, it says, send a warm prompt, not a story, and your chest doesn't stage a trial while you wait. With money, it points to your bands and rollbacks instead of chasing candles. On a late walk, it clocks dog walkers and apartment lights before it auditions a movie scene. Trust isn't blindness, it's congruence. 3 simple rules help. Trust it when context aligns with experience and your body is regulated. Question it when your state is spiky, underslept, overcaffeinated post-argument. Pause it when known loops light up. Abandonment at dusk, authority on vague subjects, contamination under novelty, status in scrolls, catastrophe in headlines. Ethically, recalibration has a ripple. When your priors aren't running the room, you stop exporting panic. You ask cleaner questions, negotiate without threat theater, and set boundaries without booby traps. Fewer of us confusing arousal for truth means fewer mobs trained by algorithms, fewer relationships run like emergency drills, fewer decisions made on the worst 15 seconds of our day. Here's the gentle irony. As your gut stops pretending to be an oracle, it becomes more useful. Receipts earn trust. Ambiguity stops collapsing into doom and gets sorted into experiments. You size the risk, place a small bet, and let reality teach. That posture is sturdier than bravado and kinder than avoidance. Micro-moments mark the shift. The calendar ping doesn't yank your jaw tight. Scene 4:12 p.m. doesn't summon a speech. The dip on a chart triggers a rule, not a spiral. The street at night looks like a street, punctuated by specific cues, not soaked in global threat. You'll still flinch. You'll still misread. You just won't need to defend the mistake. You'll log it, star what contradicted it, and your model will shave a sliver off its certainty on its own. There's room for something better than calm, curiosity. Curiosity fills the space shame used to occupy. It asks, what's the smallest move that would give me information? It lets you walk toward data without demanding comfort first. That shift, comfort as preference, not prerequisite, unlocks decisions you parked for years. Zoom out. When you're not living inside an alarm, you can hear your values. Recalibrated intuition isn't just less afraid, it's more aligned. It starts to detect fit, not the smooth of certainty, but the click of coherence. You notice when a plan matches how you want to work, when a person meets you in the language you actually speak, when a risk is meaningful instead of performative. That's not magic. That's a prediction engine that stopped outsourcing weight to spikes and feeds. Keep the guardrails. Protect sleep like a boundary. Treat caffeine as a setting, not a lifestyle. Fence your doom windows and rehearse small asks in calm rooms. Not because you're fragile, but because you care about the accuracy of your own sensing. That care is the adult version of intuition. Not mystical, not brittle, maintained. Carry one line forward. Intuition after recalibration is compressed experience plus context, held lightly enough to update. A good first draft, not a verdict. It wants evidence. It yields when it gets it. That's the gut worth having. The one that helps you move without mortgaging tomorrow's clarity. Recalibrated, your gut stops playing oracle and becomes a fast, honest brief you can update in real time. If this hit home, run one 5% bet and log it this week. Then tell us what shifted. Lag time, odds, or tone. Subscribe for the full Bayesian recalibration series, and cue the next episode where we connect trauma-tuned precision to algorithmic manipulation in your